All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Entering his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway. Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. There was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? The answer, the terrible secret he would soon discover, lay buried in the depths of the underground complex he now entered. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large doors that read, Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death. And so he entered the chamber and stepped into the machine. Really, Stanley, I don't know where you think you're going. I don't need some big fancy death machine to kill you. I can do it right here. Watch this. All of a sudden, for no reason, Stanley died. Well, that was supposed to... Hang on. Let me try it again. For absolutely no reason at all, owing itself to nothing whatsoever, Stanley up and collapsed on the floor, completely dead. Well, that's... Oh, look, I don't need to do this. In fact, I'd much rather you did it yourself. Here, come along, let me show you. Take a look, Stanley. All for you. Well, you might as well get to it. No sense just sitting around here doing nothing, is there? Oh, that sounded painful. Well, no worries. I'm sure, being the strong young lad that you are, this shouldn't take more than 3 or 4 falls to finish you off. Stanley, I want to be receptive to your needs. If you're having any objections about this arrangement, just say something. Don't hesitate to speak your mind. Nothing? Really? No complaints? All right then, let's continue. You know, as riveting as this is, I think we can spice it up a bit more. How about this time when you fall, do a trick? Come on, Stanley, give me something really spectacular. That was it? Shockingly pathetic. I can't give that more than 2.5 stars. Oh, and that's not out of 5 or 10. It's actually out of a much larger number. I don't think you have a word for it yet. Is this? It is! Oh, Stanley, now it gets fun. Okay, this is amusing and everything, but we need to get things moving along. I've got places to be. So, here are some spikes to help, speed up the process a bit. Kidding! Oh, and I was also lying about having places to be. This is literally the only thing that I do. Take your time. Make it count. I am truly enjoying every second of this. Now, let me stop you there. You are way too eager to kill yourself. You've barely even paused for breath. Can't we simply take a moment to appreciate the journey? The moment? The looming prospect of your own brutally senseless death? Let's slow things down with some meditation. Close your eyes, breathe in deeply, allow your inner essence to drift into... Ha! Gotcha! Now, go and jump again, you sack of meat. Oh, Stanley, you're really not looking so hot there. Perhaps this is an appropriate time to start putting together a suicide note to clarify your thoughts and motives in killing yourself. No, please, you look very busy. Let me take care of it for you. I'll only make extreme exaggerations in what I perceive to be your mindset. Here's a passage from your suicide note. Just as my father and his father and his father before him died by throwing themselves repeatedly from a low bit of scaffolding, so too do I join the legacy of the whatever family. May our superior logic persist for generations to come. Then, after writing his suicide note and resigning away his feeble grasp of life, Stanley fell to his death. Then he 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 fell to his death. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley had absolutely no idea where he was going. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee... Ah, yes. Truly a room worth admiring. But as intoxicating as this room was, it was time for Stanley to get back to business. He took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for her. Well, really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? I really don't know where you think you're going. There's nothing over here but empty corridors. And frankly, that's perhaps even more infuriating for me. So why don't you cool down? Give me a chance and just let me tell the story I want to tell, Now listen carefully. This is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. Unbelievable. Why can't... Wait. You actually did it. You went through the red door. To be honest, I wasn't expecting that. I don't really have anything planned out, but for some reason, I feel really good just the same. Wait, no, hold on, I've got an idea. Just Just roll with it.
Stanley walked through the door on his right. I don't believe it. That felt amazing. For some reason, I feel incredible. Here, let me try something else. Stanley pushed the number 1. Then he pushed the number 6. And finally, he pushed the number 7. Stanley chose to do whatever he chose to do. Oh, goodness, I feel so much stress lifted, so much pressure gone. It's wonderful. I can just relax. So, how are you doing today, Stanley? Are you well? Have things been good lately? The wife's doing well? I'll be honest, it's been a bit hectic on my end, but I guess that's just because I've had to... Oh, dear. Look at me jabbering on and making you just sit there. That's the last thing I want. Come, I want to let you move around a bit. Please, Stanley, don't quit the game. Don't restart the level. I can't go back to that. I'm happy now. Please, just let me be right here. Stanley stood on the grass. Stanley stood on the grass. Stanley turned the valve wheel. Stanley stood on the snow. Stanley jumped in the river. Stanley walked over the bridge. Stanley stood on the roof. Stanley pushed the big red button. Stanley turned on the thing. Stanley turned off the thing. Stanley pushed the orange lever. Stanley pushed the blue lever. Stanley pushed the green lever. Stanley jumped in the river. Stanley walked over the bridge. Stanley stood on the roof. Stanley turned the valve wheel. No, please, Stanley, don't quit. I'm asking you, please, don't take this away from me. Stanley walked over the bridge. Stanley walked over the bridge.